Welcome into Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. On today's show, we'll go over the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors, including those involving a possible trade for Lamar Jackson. Yeah, you heard me right on that one. Also, we have an update on the ownership situation with the Seahawks as well. We'll get to all that in just a moment, but before we do, want to hear from you guys. We're counting down to kickoff here on the channel, and we got some fun stuff that we're going to be doing this football season. But I got to know, what's your favorite game day tradition? For me, I got to have some snacks, whether it's some popcorn or some pretzels or some beer, whatever it may be. Got to have some snacks when I'm watching the game. What about you guys? Whether you're tailgating, you're at home, tell me what you do on game day. What's your favorite game day tradition? So the folks at 12th Man Rising have suggested that the Seahawks should trade for Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Don't laugh. Hold on. We'll get to this piece by piece here. Now, it sounds ridiculous. I don't think the Ravens are shopping Lamar Jackson, but let's go ahead for all intents and purposes and look at what a Lamar Jackson trade would look like. It would require a lot, as you can see on the screen there. Probably the best first-round selection that the Seahawks have, whether that's from Seattle or Denver in 2023, as well as the best second-rounder. And then the Seahawks' third-round pick in 2023 as well. But it doesn't stop there. Would probably also include Seattle's first-round pick in 2024 and Seattle's second-round pick in 2024. A total of 5 picks in 3 rounds over 2 years. That's a lot. And then there's still one other factor. You'd still have to pay Lamar Jackson as well, as he's currently on the final year of his 5th-year option, and he is going to be paid after that. Here's how much quarterbacks are going for these days. They're not cheap, folks. Aaron Rodgers, highest-paid quarterback in the league, $50 million. Deshaun Watson getting $46 million. Patrick Mahomes at 45, Josh Allen at 43, Derek Carr at 40. I would think that Lamar Jackson, look, you could argue he's been better than Deshaun Watson, maybe not as good as Patrick Mahomes, and probably about close to Josh Allen, definitely better than Derek Carr. I mean, right now, Lamar Jackson could argue for that $46 million number of Deshaun Watson, and that's before even playing this year, coming off a down year last year, before even a possible bounce-back year. So we'll get into more of this in just a second, but I got to have you guys weigh in on this one. Should the Seahawks trade for Lamar Jackson? If the opportunity somehow presented itself where the Ravens said, yeah, we'll take those 5 draft picks, should they do it? Let's start there before we get into what the Seahawks would be getting out of Lamar Jackson. Let me know. It's our pinned comment today. You're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it. Tell me one way or the other. Y for yes, in for no, if the Seahawks should trade for Lamar Jackson if they were given the opportunity to do so. Now, you may be asking yourself, what are you getting out of Lamar if he were to come to the Seahawks? Well, you're getting a guy that at his best is the most explosive player in football. We saw that his MVP season with 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and then on the ground, he was terrific as well. He put up numbers that most running backs would love to have. 1,200 rushing yards, a nice 6.9 average yards per carry, and 7 rushing touchdowns as well. He was terrific that year. That Lamar Jackson has not gone away. But here's the deal. Let me bring you back down to reality for a second before you get too excited about the idea of trading for Lamar Jackson. He isn't going anywhere. Now, you may not know this, but I host another show on the Chat Sports Network about the Baltimore Ravens, and we've been talking a lot about the Lamar Jackson contract situation over there. He's not going anywhere. They're going to get a deal done. He's going to be with the Baltimore Ravens for a long time. So before you get too excited, I know the folks at 12th Man Rising went into a lot of details to put together this trade idea, and kudos to them for coming up with it nonetheless, but this isn't happening. Lamar Jackson, great player, but he's going to be with the Ravens for a long time. Got a great deal that we're offering our viewers of Seahawks Today, a T-shirt combination. It's getting hot outside, folks. Well, I say it's getting hot. It is hot outside. Why not go ahead and rock out with some Hawk gear outside? And we got 2 different color combinations. that you can wear. You can wear these on game days, when you're eating snacks or mowing the lawn, whatever it may be. $20 off now. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirts. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks shirts. While supplies last, get yours today. $20 off. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirts. We have an ownership update for you in regards to the Seahawks. Jody Allen, the sister of the late Paul Allen, released a statement yesterday and said the Seattle Seahawks, as well as the Portland Trail Blazers, which were both owned by Paul Allen, now in the Paul Allen Family Trust, are not for sale right now. Here is the full statement on your screen right now from Jody Allen, the chair of the Portland Trail Blazers and Seattle Seahawks, trustee of the Paul G. Allen Trust. As chair of both the Portland Trail Blazers and the Seattle Seahawks, my long-term focus is building championship teams that our communities are proud of. Like my brother Paul, I trust and expect our leaders and coaches to build winning teams that deliver results on and off the court and field. As we've stated before, neither of the teams is for sale, and there are no sale discussions happening. A time will come when that changes, given Paul's plans to dedicate the vast majority of his wealth to philanthropy, but estates of this size and complexity can take 10 to 20 years to wind down. There is no preordained timeline by which the teams must be sold. Until then, my focus and that of our teams is on winning, end quotes from Jody Allen there. Now, the truth of the matter is that, yes, they are not for sale, but that's until they get an offer they can't refuse. If, I don't know, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos calls up Jody Allen and says, hey, yeah, I'll take you, I want the Seahawks for $6 billion. You're going to take that phone call, okay? I mean, this is something that I think that the Seahawks and the Blazers are in the same boat of playing the long game. The longer this goes, the more that they can draw up this cost. And on top of that, too, the Seahawks are in a situation with the city of Seattle in regards to their lease with the stadium that makes things complicated to change ownership before 2026. So, our true or false question today, the Seahawks will be sold in 2 years. Will it happen in this next 2-year stretch? Let me know. Type T for true, type F for false. I'm curious what you guys think. Is it going to happen? Will they end up moving hands to somebody else? We've already seen some former Seahawk players say they want in on a new ownership group. Let me know one way or the other. T for true, F for false. And if the Seahawks are sold, and I say if, when the Seahawks are sold, whether that's tomorrow or 5 years from now, we will be covering it here on Seahawks Today. So make sure you have those notifications turned on so you never miss a moment and get all the latest Seahawks news and rumors right here on Seahawks Today by Chat Sports, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. That's youtube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe today. So let's look at the financials of this, of an ownership change. Let me tell you, inflation has certainly impacted pro sports franchise costs, okay? The Denver Broncos just sold to the Walmart family for the most expensive sale in United States sports history at $4.65 billion this year. The Mets, back in 2020, were at 2.4. The Brooklyn Nets were at 2.35 in 2019. The Panthers were at $2.275 billion in 2018. The Houston Rockets sold in 2017 for 2.2. Those are the 5 highest in the U.S. Now, Seattle would be the highest NFL market, much bigger market than Denver. And I would think that Seattle would sell for even more than Denver did. I would think that it's going to be at least $5 billion if they sold tomorrow, probably more than that. Look, at the end of the day, the Seahawks purchase, whoever buys them, it's going to be the biggest in sports history in the United States. It will be. I mean, we're talking bigly, folks. I mean, a lot of money is going to be thrown out there for whoever buys it. I think it's unlikely that the Seahawks and Trail Blazers are sold as a package deal, because that would be a lot of money for both franchises, but it won't be cheap, I can tell you that much, either way, wherever they go. Before we get out of here and wrap up today's show, I promised you yesterday I would shout out the Noti Gang all the real ones that are watching Seahawks Today every day here on the channel. Aaron, John, Richard, Red River, T. Knuckles, the Patriot, Mad Mel Kiper, as well as Daniel, Leo, and Crazy Willie. You guys are the best. We do this show because of you. We can't do this show without you, so appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Speaking of gang, if you made it to the end of today's video, then you're a real one. You're a part of our gang here. So go ahead and type gang, and we'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.